Okay, in this video I'm going to show how I did the testing and optimization of the basic metrics. So in this GitHub repository, I uploaded all of the scripts regarding the metrics. So the first script includes the metrics as they were handed. The final result that I um, completed in the query that was given, which was the basic algorithmic part of the query, which was this, which includes the metric, and then I completed the statement as a SQL query, and then we will see that we can execute this query to test it in many different ways. Okay, so one way to test it is to scan for the metric in all of the table, and the other options is applying a condition or filter. In this case, I'm applying filter for the MLS ID field and the different date fields. So to test the metrics, just completed the query um, according to the PostgreSQL language syntax, and once it's ready, we can go to the database and execute it there to test the metric query. So I'm going to the server, and I'm going to paste the code in here, and we just execute it. This is the salt count metric. So first I will execute it without parameters, so I will comment this out to scan for all of the property raw table in the March 2019 database, and I'm gonna execute the salt count metric. It's executing. It might take some time because I'm executing it remotely from the server. And yeah, so this will take some time. In the end, we will see how long it took to execute the query. And so meanwhile, we can check more of the code of the other metrics. So basically, these are the metrics. These are complete queries for each of the metrics. So we got salt count metric, we got the salt volume metric, salt average metric, the salt medium price metric, which is the only one that hasn't been fully tested. The reason why is because of this function right here, quantile, because it's not, this function is not a native PostgreSQL language function, and so the module which includes this function has to be installed in the database instance, and so this is still an issue which needs to be addressed. And yeah, for the salt medium price metric, and then we got the active average price metric, days on market metric, cumulative days on market metric, sold to list ratio metric, the active count metric, and the monthly supply metric, which is also in debugging because there will be there was an error in the initial metric as it was handed to me, so it was already corrected, and I just will have to do the same process that we're doing with the other metrics to um, complete the query, um, execute it to test it, and then see if any optimization can be further done. Okay, so here we got some combined queries which use all of the other metrics, and basically what this will give is the result of each one of the metrics in the whole table. Um, with um, with each metric applied for each month of the year, and this one gives you the total of each metric across the entire table. So we're gonna go back to the database, and the query was finally executed, and it was executed in 42.82 seconds, and the result was 3,389,655 for the sold count metric across all of the table. And so, as I told earlier, this can also be applied with specific filters with any of the table fields, in this case the MLS ID field and off-market date and list date. So it's executing again. It takes some time again, and so this process it's done for each and every one of the metrics. And so basically, if we get no errors and the result, such as cell count metric that we got here, the query is fine, it's working fine. And in this case, in the testing of the metrics that I made, all of the queries returned the expected value, and I'm just planning to test the median and the monthly supply metrics, which still needs some work to be done, and the problems that I mentioned earlier addressed. So the query already executed. It executed in 44.53 seconds, and the result is 156,435, way less than the previous query, because of course we're applying the filters here. So this is a process which is done with every one of the metrics, and in another video I'm gonna execute the combined query in order to test them all at once, all queries at once, all metrics at once, and to make sure that we're getting a result from each and every one of the metrics, besides the two metrics that I mentioned, which are still in debugging mode.